I have made this video somewhat 2 weeks in a row, but this is it. Like, this is it. What is up, Finn fans? Now, last Thursday I made a video essentially talking about how important that Bills game was, winning the division, all that stuff. And it was. But it's now at the point where you lose and your season's over. And everything that you've done this offseason, everything you've done in September, October, November means nothing. Now, I'm going to go more into detail on some of the things I'm going to be talking about tomorrow in the preview video. More stats, more things to back up, my prediction, all that good stuff. But I wanted to make this video because Mike McDaniel's kind of theme for Hard Knocks was essentially adversity. And he talks about adversity a lot. He talks about how it's an opportunity, how you build off of it, how you build the relationship with his teammates off of adversity. And the Miami Dolphins right now, and for the past 2-3 weeks, have been dealing with adversity, whether it was, further on in the season when we lost Jalen Phillips, losing Bradley Chubb, losing Xavier Howard, losing Andrew Van Ginkel, losing Jerome Baker again, losing Raheem Mostert for a little bit, losing Jalen Waddle for a little bit, losing Connor Williams, losing Isaiah Wynn. Like, there's a lot of adversity that this team has had to go through. The adversity of the Tennessee Titan game, the adversity of getting stomped out by the Baltimore Ravens, and now the adversity of losing the division when you were up 8-3 and the Bills, I think, were 6-6 at the time because they didn't take a bye yet. Essentially 9-3, 6-6. You had a 3-game lead on the division. A 3-game lead. And you couldn't win the Titans game. You couldn't beat the Bills. You should have beaten the Bills, but you couldn't. So I was thinking about a lot of this stuff, and I'm getting ready, to do my preview for tomorrow, and I'm getting ready for the stream Saturday night. Because, again, it's Saturday night, not Sunday night. It's Saturday night, 8 o'clock. It is on Peacock, but I think in some of your guys' areas, like if you're in Missouri or if you're in, like, Miami, Florida area, I think you can watch it on Channel 4. I'm not 100%. Check your cable and see if it's available or if it's showing a game on Saturday night. But I was doing all this stuff and I was just thinking to myself, like, Mike McDaniel wanted to prove that they're not the 8-3 team last year. You kind of are. Now, injuries are a problem, but the Cleveland Browns have injuries. The Baltimore Ravens have injuries. Like, a lot of these teams have injuries, and a lot of these teams have injuries to important roles. Like Justin Herbert got injured, Joe Burrow got injured, Deshaun Watson got injured, Daniel Jones got injured, Aaron Rodgers got injured. We still have Tua. And this is it. That's why I titled the video, Miami Dolphins, Here's Your Adversity. Because you are going into an environment that it might be the coldest in the history of the NFL. I think the ice ball will be colder, but it's going to be like -5 when they play Sunday night. It's going to be cold, windy, and possibly snowing. And I don't think either team has ever played in such frigid conditions, and it's not going to be a normal game. You're not going to see Patrick Mahomes throwing, run into his left and his right and like throwing passes while diving. You're not going to see those things. You're not going to see Tyreek Hill burning down the field and Tua throwing. That's not the game you're going to see. But here's your adversity. Can you win in an environment where you have never really won in. The last time they won in an environment like this was 2008 in 10-degree weather. They won 31-28, and it was against Kansas City Chiefs in Missouri. So, this is different. And also, we had Matt Moore. Chad Pennington. I'm like, we had Matt Moore. We had Chad Pennington at the time. Not Tua Tagovailoa, who I think the coldest game he ever played in was, someone put a stat up. I think it was like 30 degrees, 40 degrees, something like that. And he won. He had a good passer rating. But there's that, right? Tyreek wants to come back. He wants to throw up the deuces against his old team. He wanted to do it during the regular season, but they went to Germany. Now is his chance. Is he going to is he going to help us, or is he going to hurt us? Now, it's weird saying that because Tyreek Hill is the offense. Like, we can laugh and we can, say whatever we want to say about it. And yes, we did beat what? I think it was the Jets. Was it the Jet game where he was out? I think it was the Jet game he was out. And Tua did fine. Tua did well. Or was the Cowboys game? It was one of those games. But he's the offense. But he's been, the past 2 games, he's got butterfingers. Is he going to help us? Is he going to hurt us in certain situations? Is he going to catch the ball or not? Team can't play in the cold. Tua can't win the big games, the injuries, all that stuff. All of these things are questions and adversity that the team has to get through. Now, we brought in some veteran pass rushers. I'm not expecting them to be put in situations where you have to draw back into coverage, where they're going to be covering so-and-so or this or that. I think that this game, and again, I'll go more into this tomorrow, is going to be a real old-school football game. And that bodes well for the guys we have up front, with Emmanuel Ogbah, Christian Wilkins, Sealer, Deshaun Hand, Raekwon Davis, and now we have Irvin. We have Justin Houston. We'll probably bring Malik Reed off of the practice squad. That's going to help and bode well for us. You got David Long, who's going to be shooting the gaps. Duke Riley is really good at, run stopping, not very good at covering wheel routes because he likes to run into the corners. This is going to be one of those games. And, I'm not as nervous as I probably should be because I know a lot of people are doubting us and a lot of people don't think we're going to win this game because it's the defending Super Bowl champions and it's cold, and Miami is the Miami Dolphins. They're not, the Arctic Canadian Bears or whatever you want to call them. They're the Miami Dolphins. They're a hot weather team. But there's been times where we were in those situations. And people were like, oh, the Dolphins aren't going to win those games. Buffalo, Christmas Eve, 2016, clinched the playoff spot. Jay Ajayi ran it down for field goal range. I remember Ryan Tannehill versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in the snow. Won that game. 2008, 10-degree weather. We won that game. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that this team can do it. And Tua's talking about not wearing gloves, and Christian Wilkins is talking about not wearing long sleeves, and take care of business. Win the first playoff game in the Dolphins' past 22 years. And there's a lot of ways we can do it. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. Because if I talk about it now, there's no point in you watching the video tomorrow. I want you to watch the video tomorrow. Put a lot of time and effort into these videos. But sound. You have to play sound football. You have to get your heads out of your butts. Call the right plays. Now, I talked about this already, but that Buffalo Bills game, the second half, when we stopped running the ball, a lot of people were like, that's on Mike. Why you stop running the ball? Both of your running backs have over 5 yards of carry. What are you doing? The play, and I showed you the film breakdown, the plays weren't bad. They just were executed poorly. Same thing on defense. So it's just do your job. Which sucks to say because it's like a Bill Belichick thing. This is not. There were people in the chat and there were people on Twitter and stuff who wanted us to rest our starters because they felt they had a better chance at this game than playing Buffalo 2 weeks in a row. And I disagree. I think if we played Buffalo 2 weeks in a row and we got Mostert back. We got Waddle back. We brought in who we did, and we're playing at our home stadium at 1 o'clock, and it's warmer. I think we would, have a equal opportunity if we beat them the first time to beat them the second time. But people wanted this because this is a different world. This is a different beast, and the Chiefs have been kind of struggling as of late, whereas the Bills are red hot as of late, going on a 6-game winning streak and ended up winning the division. I still wanted to win. I wanted that title. I wanted home field advantage. I wanted all of it. But this is all I keep thinking about is getting the win. Now, it's going to be tough because when you look at the schedule and when you look at the opponents that are, who's going to play who and all that stuff, if Miami wins, we would have to hope and pray that the Pittsburgh Steelers beats the Buffalo Bills. It is a possibility. It is a possibility because it's another situation where 25-mile-an-hour winds might not be throwing it a lot. The Steelers are built to stop the run, and they do have, Najee Harris, and they are a good running team. They are that way. But if they don't, and the Bills win, and we win, we will be the lowest seed because Cleveland is the 5th seed. So if they beat Houston, they are the 5th seed, and if Houston beats them, they're the 4th seed. Either or, that doesn't matter. We will be going to Baltimore. Versus if we would have won this game and then beat Buffalo back-to-back, we would have faced whoever was the second to lowest seed, maybe Cleveland or Houston or something. So it's going to be a difficult road. But we got to take it one game at a time. We got to face the adversity that Mike McDaniel constantly talks about and is a big proprietor on, and his speeches and everything that we hear in Hard Knocks. And you got to go out and do it. You got to go do it for Jalen Phillips. You got to do it for Bradley Chubb. You got to do it for Jerome Baker. You got to do it for these guys who are injured trying to win the game. And you got to win this flipping game for the first time in 20-something years. The last playoff game, though, was on the road in Indy. But it is a dome. Got to get this W. Mike McDaniel talked about it. He said, these narratives didn't come out of nowhere. They didn't. We struggle in the cold weather. We struggle on the road. We struggle against winning teams this season. It was a problem. Well, here's your adversity. Change the problem. Fix the problem. Play sound football. We should have beaten the Chiefs in Germany. It's not even a question in my mind that we should have we held them to no points in the second half. We held Travis Kelce to 20-something yards, Patrick Mahomes to 140, 170 yards. We were poised to march down the field and score a touchdown to win that game when that bad snap happened. We should have won that game. And that fumble that I will go to my grave saying wasn't a fumble. Forward progress is the thing. Then all of a sudden on the 31-yard line, we're running the ball, trying to kick the field goal to win by 3. Chiefs aren't as scary as Buffalo is. Chiefs don't have our number. I was going to say my number. Have our number like Buffalo does. This is a game that we could win. It's all about, do they want it? Do they want to push through adversity? And does the next man want to step up? Also, please, for the love of God, this is it. Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Javon Holland, Elliott, those guys that are banged up. This is it. There's no, we're going to rest them for next week. There might not be a next week. You have to play. If you are 70%, you have to play. We need you to play. There is no next week if we lose. You have to play. Like Mike. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the trainers. I don't know what it is. But if they can play, they have to play because there is no next week if we lose. But I just wanted to come make this video, kind of a rah-rah video, kind of a, regurgitation of my thoughts video, talking about how big and important this game is because I'm tired of it. How many times do we make the playoffs? And again, it's wild card after wild card after wild card. Boom, first round knockout. Boom, first round knockout. Whether it was the Bills, whether it was the Steelers, whether it was the Ravens, whether it was the Ravens again, first round knockout. Win the game. Then we'll talk about the Ravens if it happens. But if it doesn't happen, if the Steelers somehow beat the Bills, the Steelers will go to the Ravens. And if the Texans beat the Browns, the Dolphins will go to the Texans. It's a realm of possibility. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the preview video. But like usual, stay classy. Offense out.